to everybody. I'm Luigi Conte. I'm doing a PhD in the environmental sciences at Ca' Foscari in Venice, and today I will present this research, which is a collective one we are carrying out with colleagues from social sciences, with farmers in Sicily, and also with activists dealing with climate change and analysis of agri-food systems with participatory approach. So just about research questions. So we are asking ourselves which are the limits for an agroecological transition in Western Sicily under a climate change scenario, and this is really related to our positioning as researchers and activists within science collective supporting local communities, and also researcher working with labor union issues related to food. So this is very ongoing research and preliminary results. So about data and information I will show, it's merging literature review and field work carried out with field observations, but also semi-structured interview. But our perspective is to integrate qualitative research with quantitative one. So just to show you the situation actually in the Mediterranean and so in Sicily. So Sicily is mainly cropland everywhere, and so the climate is marked by seasonal cycle of precipitation. So basically you have wet winters and dry summers. So what you store in winters as water, you can use in summer for growing stuff. So this very much constrains agriculture there. What we expect from climate studies is reduction in precipitation in the whole Mediterranean, accompanied by extremes in heat waves, so temperature will rise as it's shown like on the right. So distribution shifts basically, and you will have more extremes, and this defines Mediterranean Sea as a hotspot because also historically climate changed very much. So this is an issue, and we are going to expect to change things there. But so very quickly, historically, Sicily show actually a very important conflict for water that actually is related to the development of agriculture there between 60s and 80s. A lot of public money was spent to construct like irrigation network, but also dams. And this was related to peasant struggles there, and is also related to what's going on now. Because, for example, if you compare, so it's our work to compare water use in Campobello, where we have extractive supply chain of olives with respect to the farmer networks we are working with traditional practices and low input agriculture. So this shows a little bit of the comparison. So on the left you have basically images showing local small-scale farming that is very adapted to climate and with autonomous water storages, and sometimes also communal water management and local traditional practices to grow food, which actually requires very low water inputs. And on the other hand, you have this the olives supply chain, which is not the only one, but it's our proxy, you know, here that that actually needs a lot of irrigation, public infrastructure, and you need water also for treatment because olives need to be big, and this is very related to the quality narrative of this product. But one of the main issue actually is work there because I mean the olive supply chain in Campobello is basically it works like extraction of values that tries to follow seasonal cycles for retail trade, and actually needs not only a lot of inputs from natural resources but cheap labor. And this means exploitation of migrant workers that actually live in a condition with no access to water. And so this is actually the lens from political ecology. You know, it gives you a perspective to say, okay, water it's related to power, actually, in this lens, with respect to the work of the agricultural network, it's ongoing process of experimentation of self-organization, co-production, self-organized distribution, and so we're working on it, actually, and it's interesting. So from the political principles, the network is based on solidarity and mutual aid. So for the Mercato network aims at transformation through breakpoints, for example, through system of participatory warranties, so that actually recognizes quality certificates as a tool for governance and also power to decide what we eat, actually. So we oppose this kind of narratives, supporting self-organization of migrant worker, but also seeking connection with climate justice movement in the cities and a social anti-mafia movement there, because it's an issue and also related to water. Our method is participative, as I'm saying. So what I'm showing is not just my job. And so related to the very question of which are the barriers for an agroecological transition in Sicily and how this deals with climate change. So I think we already find a lot of connection with a lot of things that have been presented before. So risk of fires, droughts, economic barriers, socio-cultural problems. I mean, I'm not going into the detail of this, but the point is that climate change will exacerbate this mechanism. So in perspective, I just want to cite Laura Conti as a pioneering work on ecological systems analysis. So we claim that analyzing energy and material flows in this kind of systems give a perspective to understand how the system will respond to climate change and changes in water management, that actually there is an issue. So this shows energy system language perspective, that it's actually going to be quantitative at some point. And on the top I show like an adapted system, like you store water inside the system, you are resilient. That's a very basic representation of an ecosystem, but there you see an extractive process driven by economic flows that needs a lot of auxiliary energy. So those are the principles we are going to look for and to develop an analysis. So thank you.